Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm going to be covering 2 strong champions for each role in Clash, and this will mainly be helping towards climbing Plex and doing well in Clash, so let's get into it. To begin with, we're going to talk about Malphite. Malphite is receiving buffs in 13.4, which should benefit his WMAX build quite heavily. So this is the build which we're going to be looking at, which is going to be Grasp, Shield Bash. Conditioning is most likely what you're going to be taking unless you're into heavy poke lanes where you can run Second Wind. Overgrowth is going to be your key rune here, and then Mana Flow, Transcendence, or you can run things like Magical Footwear, Cosmic, or Magical Footwear Futures. For sub-runes, you're going to run Attack Speed, Armor, Magic Resist, and Health. The build goes as follows, which is D-Ring. You can run D-Shield, but D-Shield is being nerfed, so I'd massively incentivize going D-Ring. Sunfires is going to be your core item into Iceborne or Frozen Heart. Things like Form Meld synergize really well with your W passive. Fawn if they have a bit of AP, Anathemas and Gargoyles work as good later items. This is if they have a single target who you need to separate or a single magic resist target, and Gargoyles works because of his shield and the amount of resist it gives. You can also go Jak'Sho on Malphite instead of Iceborne if you need to. I recommend picking him on 4-5 or on 5. He works as a good later pick into the draft. If you see 3 AD picks, you can pick Malphite. Works quite well. Sion is the other tank I'm going to recommend in the top lane. These will be fairly low to mid econ champions. Flash TP is where you're going to go. Q, W, E, pretty standard Sion stuff. Grasp is the best way to go. You can run Demolish, Second Wind or Conditioning, Unflinching or Overgrowth, and then Footwear and Biscuits. Attack Speed or Adaptive. Adaptive performs a bit better than Attack Speed, but if you go Heartsteel, then you can run Attack Speed. I wouldn't recommend going Heartsteel. It's pretty bad of an item at the moment. You can go Magic Resist or Armor, and then Health. For your items, you want to go Dark, you want to go D-Shield, and then Sunfires. This is going to be your pretty standard first item. You can also go Corrupting on Sion. It does work quite well. And then, in this order, you can go Mercs, Swifties, Plated, Steel Caps. Mercs are your best option, Swifties being your second best, and then Steel Caps being the worst of the three. Titanic is your second best item by a mile. You have AD ratios within your kit, combined with the fact that you stack a ton of health. It's a really good item. Jak'Sho or Heartsteel or Iceborne. Heartsteel earlier on, but then you mainly want to go Jak'Sho, Radiant, or Iceborne. Fawn, Form Melt, and then Gargoyles. You can also go Sterak's. Sterak's shielding is quite nice for Sion. Plus the AD is also quite nice for him. Overall, there's a couple of options on what you can do with Sion. I definitely recommend going Gargoyles though later on. A lot of health makes this item quite strong. Combine that with Jak'Sho, it's also a lot of resists. For 2 junglers, we're going to talk about Viego and Jarvan. Viego's getting buffed in 13.4. Jarvan's getting nerfed, but is still really strong from the buffs he received in 13.3. So let's go on. For runes, for Summoner Spells, you want to run Flash, and then Green Smite, QEW. You want to run Conqueror, Triumph, Attack Speed, Coup de Grace. Combine that with Magical Footwear and Cosmic. You can run Eyeball and Treasure, but Treasure being nerfed, I'd recommend going this instead. Attack Speed, Adaptive, and then Health, Armor, Magic Resist. You can run all 3, Health being your best. Kraken Slayer is the way you want to go on Viego, not Divine Cinderer. Kraken Slayer is going to be stronger, especially if the crit changes towards his passive. And then Marks or Xarkas. Xarkas perform better, but Marks are also a really strong option. Into Bork, Wit's End, GA, Death Stance, and more. There might be a chance that you go something like Essence Reaver Novori or Essence Reaver IE next patch, but this is your fairly staple build at the moment, so I'd recommend going this. Jarvan, Conqueror, Triumph, Last Stand, Alacrity, with the same secondary tree of Magical Footwear Cosmic, and then Attack Speed, Armor, Adaptive. You can run Magic Resist. You can also go Lethal on Jarvan. I'd recommend going Conqueror, but Lethal is an option. Eclipse is his best mythic by quite a bit. Gore Drinker is pretty bad at the moment. However, it is still an option if you want to be more tanky. Lucidities are his best boots. You can also Ravenous Rush. Ravenous is also a pretty good second item. Cleaver, really good on J4. And then something like GA is a really good follow-up item. Death Stance and more are weaker, but still good options. Malzahar is someone who can run Arcane Comet and Airy. I recommend Arcane Comet. It's performing a lot better at the moment. That combined with Vitalize, you can almost always hit your Arcane Comet. Mana Flow, Transcendence, or Absolute. Absolute is probably better, but Transcendence is his main one at the moment. But there is a high chance that Absolute is just better. Gathering is also pretty strong in more extended games, which will most likely be what Clash and Flex are. It can work above Scorch, but Scorch is pretty good at the moment. For secondary runes, you want to run Magical Footwear into Futures Market or Biscuits. These two options work quite well. Future's really nice for when you're going with Sapphire start, as you can go a Lost Chapter fairly early on. Attack Speed for last hitting, or CDR for more abilities. Adaptive into either Health, Armor, or Magic Resist. All three of these options have a fairly relatively similar win rate. Liandry's, Sorks, Rylai's is going to be your core like Mythic and secondary option. You can go Ludens on Malzahar into teams which are already squishy. Demonics is a really good option. So is Morello's if for like certain things, health stackers or just pen and healing. Rabadon's, Void, and Zhonya's are also all really good options as well. Cassiopeia, you want to go Conquered, Presence, Tenacity, and Last Stand. This is going to be your core for almost every single game. Mana Flow and Transcendence work quite well. You can also run Resolve, things like Revitalize and Bone Plating also work in certain matchups. CDR, Adaptive, Armor, Magic Resist, or Health all work. Then you want to go Tyr, Roa, Seraphs, Rylai's. This is a really strong trio of items, gives you a lot of health to work with, also a lot of damage and util. Zhonya's, Rabadon's also come in later on, work quite nicely. Void into comps with a lot of magic resist. Morello's not a bad option if you're applying a lot of ease and Wing your whole enemy team. Gargoyles is also really nice because you're building a lot of health. It gives you a lot of resists and a big shield. Tristana is the ADC of choice here. Tristana runs Hail of Blades, Taste of Blood, Eyeball, Treasure Hunter. You can run Triumph or Alacrity, Triumph or Bloodline. Both these options work quite well. Attack Speed, Adaptive, Armor, or Magic Resist. The core is going to be Kraken, Navori, Phantom, Bloodthirster, LDR. This is rarely going to change any game. You can run Gale Force, but I recommend running Kraken. For Karthus, the other champ which I'm recommending here. Oh yeah, for Tristana, running Cleanse, Heal, Exhaust, Ignite. This is the order I want to go in. EQW. Karthus, Flash Ghost. Flash Ghost. I don't think that's... Why is I written it incorrect? This isn't meant to be Ghost. This is meant to be Exhaust, by the way. So I've incorrectly written that down. I'm going to have to quickly change that. Dark Harvest. And then either Cheap Shot, Taste of Blood, Eyeball, Ultimate, or Treasure Hunter. And then you can run... I think this was supposed to be Malzahar. That Ghost is quite nice on Malzahar. And then, yeah, Presence, Last Stand, Double Adaptive, Armor, Magic Resist, or Health. Liandry, Sorks, Dark Seal. Shadow Flame, also really strong on Malzahar. Definitely his best second option. Rabadon's, Zhonya's, Void, and Morello's also work quite nicely. I'm recommending Ultimate over Treasure Hunter, even though it's weaker on the current patch, because I reckon the Treasure Hunter nurse will make it so Ultimate is better. Annie, Flash, Exhaust, or Ignite for support. And then E, Max into Q into W. Glacial, I recommend over Airy. Magical Footwear, Biscuits, Cosmic. And then Eyeball, Relentless for just overall assists and roaming around the map. CDR, Adaptive, Health, Magic Resist, or Armor will work. Spell Feast, don't go Relic. And then you want to go Rylai's first into Shuradias. You can run Anti-Heal, Zhonya's, and Vigilant Wardstone. All these three options work quite well. But this is going to be your main core of Rylai's and Shuradias. Yep. Amumu, you want to run Aftershock. Even though he's being nerfed, I reckon he's still going to be really strong. Font of Life, you can run Bow Plating or Second Wind. Unflinching or Overgrowth. Cheap Shot and Ultimate are going to be your core secondary runes. And then you can run CDR or Adaptive. I recommend Adaptive. Magic Resist or Armor. And you can run all of the bottom three. Relic Shield into Radiant is going to be your core. You can run Everfrost. I recommend running Radiant. Lucidities, Zhonya's, Thornmail, Thorn, Frozen Heart, and Vigilant Wardstone all make for good options later on. Your core is going to be Radiant Zhonya's, however. Flash Ignite / Exhaust, I recommend running Ignite, and then you want to Qmax into Emax. The move does scale quite nicely. I'm just going to quickly change this, and that's kind of the main gist of what I'm going to recommend for trying for Clash. Overall, these are all really strong champions, so either being buffed or work really well in a team environment. Overall, I reckon Malphite is going to be like a giga overpowered. Sion is already pretty strong at the moment. Viego definitely receiving a lot of love with his buffs. Jarvan is going to stay strong. Malzahar, very good pick at the moment. Allows you for double AP if you're running AD junglers with the AP jungle nerfs. With the AP jungle nerfs, AD junglers become stronger, which also increases the power of AP mid laners. And then Karthus works really well as a bot laner. Tristana also works really well as a bot laner and engage tool, especially with engaged champs being buffed. Annie, really, really strong support, like 55% win rate. Really, probably one of the most powerful champs on the patch, if not the most powerful. Amumu, getting nerfed towards jungle, not really receiving too much nerfs towards support. So going to continue to be really strong. So if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.